Ever had a conversation with her where everything seemed fine, but something felt off? Like when she smiled at your joke, but her eyes drifted away the second after? You probably thought, she's just distracted. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Women notice things most guys are completely blind to. Tiny things, subtle signals. And these tiny things can instantly change how she feels about you without her even realizing it herself. The worst part? You won't even know you're failing until it's too late. But once you see them, you can't unsee them. Ever caught yourself wondering if she noticed something you missed? Comment the last time you sensed something weird in a conversation. And stay till the end, because the last sign flips everything you thought you knew. You're sitting across from her. A soft clink of a coffee cup. The hum of quiet conversations all around. Your heart's thumping a little faster than you'd like. You tell yourself to stay calm, stay cool. And then her eyes meet yours. Lock in. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't blink. Just holds a dot, and now you're thinking, okay, eye contact. This is good. She's into it. So you stare back, trying not to look away first, trying not to mess it up. Seconds pass. She smirks. You panic just a little. Look away for a second too long. Fiddle with your cup. Then try to recover, but you already lost it. See, most guys have been sold this one-dimensional idea of eye contact, that the longer you hold it, the more confident you seem. But that's not how women experience it. What she notices isn't just that you looked at her. It's when you looked at her. And why you looked away. You probably never thought about that before. But in that one moment when she smirked and you broke, she felt something. A subtle shift. A tiny crack in the facade. Because confidence isn't about a staring contest. It's about emotional congruence. Being so present, so grounded, that you don't flinch when intensity rises. She was testing the moment with just a playful smile, and your eyes flinched. And look, it's not your fault. We're wired to avoid tension. But what she's scanning for in that split second is your relationship to pressure. Not eye contact duration, but emotional calibration. There's a guy who walks into a party, scans the room, locks eyes with a girl, and gives the slightest upward nod. Calm, measured. Then looks away slowly. Not because he's afraid, but because he chooses to. He's not reacting. He's leading that. That's magnetic. Now imagine another guy. Same room. He locks eyes, realizes she saw him, and instantly looks down. Then back, then away again. He's not saying a word, but everything about his energy is leaking. And she feels it in her gut. The paradox is, it's not the length of eye contact that makes the impression. It's the ownership of it. She feels the difference between a man trying to prove confidence and one who already has it. So next time her eyes lock with yours, don't count seconds. Don't perform. Just stay. Feel. Let your gaze rest naturally. Let her be the one who breaks it if she wants to. Or don't. Maybe you're the one who slowly shifts away, like you're moving on your own terms, because real presence doesn't cling. It doesn't chase the moment. It shapes it. And here's the twist most guys miss. When she holds your gaze, she's not just looking at your face. She's looking into your frame. She wants to feel what it's like to be inside your world. So give her something real to step into. You're the kind of guy who pays attention. That already makes you different. And now that you see the truth behind eye contact, you've got something most men never will call on: timing. Lead the moment. Don't chase it. You're sitting there again. Same table. Different moment. She's talking about her day, her words flowing like soft music in the background. And you? You're nodding, smiling occasionally, pretending you're calm. But underneath the table, your fingers are betraying you. Tapping, fidgeting, clenching. Maybe. You're spinning a ring, drumming your fingers on your thigh, gripping your phone just a little too tightly. You don't even notice it. But she does. See, women don't need to study body language to feel it. They've evolved to pick up micro signals, especially when it comes to safety and attraction. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Before you even speak a word, your hands are already revealing your inner world. You think she's just zoning out, maybe distracted by her phone or glancing around the room. But what's actually happening? She's registering your nervous energy. Not consciously, maybe, but it's happening. Because when your hands are tense, hidden, or jittery, it tells her something primal. It says you're not fully at ease, that it says you're unsure of yourself. And worse, it subtly suggests you're hiding something, that you're defensive or uncertain. And that energy doesn't just stay in your hands. It spreads into your words, your tone, your presence. She feels it, and you probably didn't even realize it. But she's already leaning slightly away from you. She's already half disengaged, even though you thought everything was going fine. There's this guy I knew. He'd sit at a date, always playing with his watch, flipping the strap, adjusting the clasp, then going back to his drink. He wasn't even aware of it. He thought he was just keeping his hands busy. But every time, the woman across from him would slowly grow colder, less interested, shorter answers, until eventually she'd glance at her phone and suddenly remember she had to leave. Was it because of the fidgeting alone? Not exactly. It's because his hands were telling a story before his mouth ever could. But here's where everything flips and why this moment can change everything for you. Still hands? They project something rare in today's world. Calm, control, grounded presence. A man who rests his hands openly on the table, palms relaxed, fingers still, movement slow and deliberate, automatically radiates a different energy. He's not rushing. He's not chasing approval. He's simply there. And the magic? She feels safer around that kind of man. She leans in, literally and emotionally. She trusts him more without knowing why. Because here's the truth. Confidence isn't loud. It's quiet, subtle, still. You can be that man, and the easiest place to start is with your hands. Next time you're in a conversation, whether it's a date, a meeting, or even just casual small talk, become aware of your hands. Place them calmly on the table or in your lap. No tapping, no clenching, no distractions. Just stillness. You'll feel the difference almost immediately. Your mind slows down. Your breath deepens. Your words carry more weight. And she feel it too. She won't be able to explain it, but something about you will just seem composed, unshakable. Most men never realize this, but now you do. Still hands. Still mind. You're already ahead. It's funny, isn't it? We grow up thinking attraction is all about the words we say, the right lines, the perfect stories, the clever comebacks. But here's the truth almost no one tells you. It's not what you say. It's how you say it. And most men completely miss this. You've probably been there before, telling a story to a girl you really like. You're excited, eager to impress her, so your words start rushing out. Your voice creeps higher without you noticing. Your sentences blur together. You're just trying to get it all out. And suddenly she interrupts you. She glances at her phone, changes the subject, cuts you off. And inside your mind, there's that sting, that sudden jolt of rejection. You think, wow, she's rude. Or maybe, guess she wasn't interested after all. But the reality, she wasn't reacting to your words. She was reacting to your presence, or more accurately, the absence of it. Here's what most men never understand. Women don't just listen to your words. They feel your words. They're picking up the subtle vibrations underneath every syllable you speak, the emotional current riding beneath your voice. And the biggest, most overlooked trigger? Vocal tonality. When you speak quickly, when your pitch rises, when your breath is shallow, it signals nervousness. Insecurity. Uncertainty. She feels that. But when you slow down, when your voice drops just slightly, when you leave space between words, letting your tone resonate, it changes everything. Suddenly, she leans in. Her breathing slows to match yours. Her eyes linger a little longer, because what she feels in that moment is grounded masculine presence. And it doesn't matter if you're telling a story about your morning coffee or explaining astrophysics. It's the tone that makes her feel safe, drawn in, connected. Picture this. Two men telling the exact same story. The first one speaks quickly, his voice thin, almost shaky. He's smiling too much, laughing nervously between phrases, filling every pause with filler words like, and like. His pitch rises at the end of every sentence, almost as if asking for permission to continue. The second man? He speaks slowly, purposefully. His voice has a natural depth, not forced, but steady. He lets his words linger in the air. His pauses aren't awkward. They're magnetic. Guess which one she's drawn to? It's not even close. And here's the beautiful part. This isn't something you're born with. It's a skill. All it takes is awareness. You already have the tools. You just need to unlock them. Next time you're speaking to her or anyone, really try this. Slow down. Lower your voice just slightly, not to sound fake deep, but to relax your throat and chest. Speak from your diaphragm, not your throat. And, most importantly, pause. Let your words breathe. Let the silence do some of the talking. Because here's a little secret most men never hear. Silence isn't awkward. It's powerful. And when you speak with that grounded tone, women feel it. They can't explain why. They just know they want to hear more. Your words matter. But your tone makes her feel. And that, my friend, is where the real connection begins. You're already ahead of the game just by realizing this. Now, use it. You ever walk into a room and feel like someone's watching you? Not in a creepy way. Just aware of you. Tracking your energy. Now flip the script. Because when a woman's into you, or even considering being into you, she's doing the same thing. Except she's not just watching how you interact with her. She's watching how the world interacts with you. That's the social radar reflex. It's her subconscious system, constantly scanning how you exist in the social ecosystem. And most men are completely blind to it. Let's zoom in. You're on a date. You're sitting across from her, being polite, attentive. You're asking questions, making her laugh. You think it's going well, but then your food comes, and you don't thank the waiter. Or worse, you barely acknowledge him at all. She notices, and something inside her shifts, not because she thinks you're a bad person, but because her social radar just pinged. She saw how you treat someone who doesn't matter. And whether she realizes it or not, her brain just asked a question. Would he treat me like that if he stopped caring? Now, imagine this. Same restaurant, same date. But this time, you look the waiter in the eye. You smile. Maybe even make a light joke. The waiter laughs. The people at the table next to you glance over. And without saying a word, you've just increased your social gravity. She doesn't need to analyze it. She feels it. Because women instinctively observe how you operate in social space. How people respond to your energy. If you make people feel seen. If others want to be near you. If you move through the world like a man who belongs. Here's a story you might relate to. A guy walks into a party with his date. He's focused on her, totally attentive. Doesn't talk to anyone else. Doesn't greet the host. Doesn't even glance around. He thinks he's being respectful, giving her his full attention. But to her, he feels small, disconnected, like he has no presence. Because presence isn't about tunnel vision. It's about expansion. Now, contrast that with a guy who walks in, gives a warm nod to the host, cracks a joke with someone he barely knows, then turns to his date with that calm, unhurried energy that says, "This is my world, and I'm inviting you into it." That guy, he doesn't need her validation. He's already validated by the room, and women notice that. Fast. It's not arrogance. It's social fluidity. It's the quiet power of being seen without demanding to be . So here's your action step. Next time you're in public, on a date, out with friends, at an event, don't just focus on impressing her. Make someone else laugh. Ask a genuine question to a stranger. Say thank you, like you mean it. Because when she watches you light up the environment, she'll want to be closer to your fire. You don't need to prove anything. Your presence speaks louder than performance ever could. And you? You're learning to speak a language most men never even hear. Respect. It's a word that gets thrown around a lot, isn't it? We think it's about holding doors open, paying for dinner, saying please and thank you. And sure, those gestures matter, but they're just surface-level signals. What most men never realize is that women don't measure respect in grand gestures, that they measure it in the tiny, quiet moments. The ones you barely notice. The ones that reveal everything. Picture this. You're mid-conversation with her. She's passionate about something. Maybe it's a story from work. Maybe it's her take on some social issue. She's animated, fully immersed in what she's saying. And then you hear something you disagree with. So you lean forward, cut her off, and say, "Actually, that's not true." You think you're being honest, direct, maybe even helpful, correcting a misconception, adding your perspective. But her face changes. Her body pulls back just a fraction. Her smile fades, almost imperceptibly. And in that moment, you've lost something far more valuable than the argument. You've lost emotional respect. See, here's the hidden truth most guys never consider. When she's talking, especially about something that lights her up, she's not always looking for correction. She's looking for space. For presence. For someone who can hold the moment without needing to dominate it. And when you interrupt, especially to disagree, it's not just a clash of opinions. It's a signal that you're not fully listening, that you're prioritizing your need to be right over the connection between you. Women track this subconsciously. It's their emotional radar at work again. But here's where the real power lies. You can disagree and still earn more respect than ever. It's all about how you carry yourself in those tiny, tension-filled moments. Imagine this. She's speaking passionately about something you don't quite agree with. Instead of jumping in, you lean back slightly. You breathe. You let her finish, nodding softly as she talks. You make eye contact, not with a smirk or a raised eyebrow, but with genuine presence. And when she finishes, you pause. Then calmly say, "That's an interesting perspective. I hadn't thought about it that way before." Boom, that's respect. You didn't sacrifice your own opinion. You didn't fake agreement. You simply chose to respect the space. Before responding. And that subtle act, it speaks volumes. It tells her you're not reactive, that you can hold emotional tension, that you're mature enough to listen before speaking. And let me tell you, women crave that kind of emotional steadiness because it's rare. It's magnetic. And it builds something far deeper than surface-level attraction. It builds trust. So here's your micro-challenge, something to test in your very next conversation. When you feel that urge to jump in, to interrupt, to correct, pause. Breathe. Let her finish fully. Then speak slowly, deliberately, even if you disagree. Especially if you disagree. Because respect isn't just about what you say. It's about what you withhold. You'll be surprised how much power there is in simply letting her speak. Most men rush to dominate. You're learning to master restraint, and that makes you Dangerous in the best way possible. There's something strange that happens when you see someone over and over again. You stop noticing the words they say, the specific jokes, even the little stories they tell, but you never forget how they make you feel. That's emotional anchoring. And it's one of the most powerful yet invisible forces in attraction that most men are completely blind to it. But women? They live in it. Every time she's around you, her brain is making emotional snapshots, tiny imprints. It's not even conscious. It's instinctive. She's constantly asking herself, how do I feel in his presence? Not, what is he saying? Not, how attractive is he? But simply, what emotional state do I enter when I'm with him? And here's the dangerous part. You could be saying all the right things. You could be showing up, texting her, back, planning dates. But if the emotional anchor you're planting is negative, if every interaction leaves her feeling anxious, drained, bored, or irritated, those feelings will start to stick, without either of you realizing it. I knew a guy, once charming, smart, well-spoken. He'd take women out to nice places, hold deep conversations, ask thoughtful questions. But every time he saw them, he'd bring up negative topics. His stressful job. The toxic people around him, the bad news from the media. He thought he was being deep, real, honest. But slowly, every woman he dated started pulling away. Why? Because even though his words were thoughtful, the emotions he anchored were exhausting. They left every encounter with him feeling heavier than before. And here's where it flips. Another guy, totally different vibe. He wasn't as smooth with his words, didn't have fancy stories. But every time people were around him, they left feeling lighter, calmer, more hopeful. Women weren't drawn to his words. They were drawn to his emotional gravity, because he made them feel good in his presence. Safe, free. And once a woman starts associating you with those feelings, she crave your company. It's not even logical. It's chemical. Her brain starts linking you to that emotional state. And it becomes addictive. So here's your challenge. Start asking yourself, not just what you're saying, but what state you are leaving her in. Do you leave her more stressed, or more calm, more drained, or more energized, more anxious, or more at peace? And here's the easiest way to flip this instantly. At the end of every conversation, whether it's in person, on text, or over the phone, leave her with one playful, uplifting, or hopeful moment. A joke. A compliment that feels fresh. A curious question about something she loves. Something that makes her feel better than before you arrived. Because emotions are sticky. And if you become her emotional sanctuary, she'll start chasing you. Not your looks, not your words, but the way she feels when she's near you. Most men never think about this. You will. That's the difference. You're not just anchoring attention, you're anchoring emotion. And that, my friend, is everything. Here's the most unsettling part of all this. She doesn't even know she's noticing these things. Not consciously. At least, she's not sitting there with a checklist, analyzing your eye contact timing or calculating how steady your hands are or dissecting the pitch of your voice. She just feels it. And that's where most guys go wrong. They think attraction is a conscious choice, that if they just say the right thing, or look a certain way, or follow a script, they can convince her to like them. But women aren't wired like that. Attraction isn't a decision for them. It's a response. To your presence, to your energy, to these invisible signals that most men never even realize they're sending. But now, you do. And here's the twist most men never see coming. Once you start mastering these signals, once you learn to calibrate them intentionally, you're no longer just reacting to women's behavior. You're quietly shaping it. Without words, without chasing. Without effort. It's like this. is a guy who used to struggle endlessly. He'd obsess over every text message, every date, every conversation. He was stuck in his head, overanalyzing, trying to crack some secret code to make women like him. He thought women were unpredictable, confusing, impossible to understand. But then, he started learning these hidden dynamics. First, he noticed his own eye contact patterns. He stopped chasing, started leading the moment with his gaze. Then, he became aware of his hands, how stillness made him feel grounded, and how women responded to that calm. Next, he shifted his voice lower, slower, deliberate, and watched how women leaned in to listen, almost unconsciously. Soon, he realized that every interaction wasn't just about him and her. It was about everyone around him. How his social presence quietly shaped her perception. He stopped interrupting, started listening more fully. Even when he disagreed, he let her speak, and her respect for him grew. Naturally, and above all, he began to track the emotions he was leaving behind. He made it his mission to leave every woman better than he found her. To be that rare man who made her feel good, just by being near him. Slowly, but surely the results changed. Women started texting him first. They asked to see him again. They opened up more, leaned in closer, craved his attention. And here's what he realized: the shift wasn't just external. It wasn't about them. It was about him. He wasn't chasing anymore. He wasn't guessing. He wasn't stuck in his head. Because now he could see the hidden game that most men never even notice. Women aren't unpredictable. They're responding to signals, to energy, to presence. Everything she feels can be shaped. And that realization, it changes everything. Because now you hold the power. Not by force, not by tricks, but by awareness. By INTNTIONAL, I to Y. By emotional mastery. And here is your final challenge. Your moment to claim the power. Go back. Watch this entire video again if you dare. Pick just one signal to focus on today. Maybe it's eye contact. Maybe it's your hands. Maybe it's your voice. But whichever one you choose, watch how fast things shift. Watch how differently she responds. Because once you see these dynamics, you can't unsee them. You're no longer in the dark. You're no longer wondering what she's thinking. Because now, you're not just part of the game. You're leading it. Before we end this, let's pull it all together. Think of this as your private checklist, your quiet advantage. These are the 6 secret signals she's already noticing, whether she realizes it or not. Screenshot it. Write it down. Save it in your phone. Because once you have this list, you'll start seeing these patterns everywhere. First, eye contact timing. Don't just stare. Lead the moment. Hold it. Then break it on your terms, not hers. Second, hand stillness. Calm hands, calm mind. No fidgeting. No hiding. Let your stillness speak volumes. Third, voice depth. Slow, low, deliberate. Make her feel your words, not just hear them. Fourth, social proof. You don't need to impress her directly. Let others validate you by the way they react to you naturally. Fifth, micro-respect. Listen fully, especially when you disagree. Let her finish. Let her feel seen. And sixth, emotional anchoring. Always leave her feeling better than when she met you. Uplift, play, inspire. This is the hidden game. Most guys will never notice these signals, but you will. Because now you're not just learning tricks. You're learning to lead. And if you ever feel yourself slipping, confused, or second-guessing what to do next, rewatch this list. Revisit the signals. Then pick just one to practice that day. Small shifts, massive impact. And watch how fast everything changes. You're not chasing anymore. You're guiding. You've already stepped into the man She's been waiting to meet. The rest? It's already yours.